What feels orgasmic without being xual or doing drugs? Getting into bed when you're utterly exhausted at the end of the day. When you finally dislodge that piece of food from your back teeth. Changing gears and not feeling it. When you're carrying something heavy for a long period of time and finally get to set it down. Edit. I love all the different interpretations of this. Really shows all walks of life. Keep being you. My team in CS. Unblocking your nose. That first inhale. Gross warning. Even better is pulling out a mass of dry and semi-dry mucus that instantly provides relief and a clear airway. It's one of the most rewarding feelings in life. Being incredibly parched on a hot day and glugging down a huge glass of cold drink. When I'm lying in bed and my thoughts start to get incoherent. In the middle of that, I get a moment of lucidity where I realize that the incoherence is due to the fact that I'm starting to fall asleep. And somehow that lucidity doesn't jar me back to full wakefulness. I don't remember anything after that because I've then fallen asleep. It's pretty awesome. Head scratch, back scratch. Get them itches. Cracking your back and feeling a few cms taller. Taking my contacts out and rubbing my eyes aggressively. Coming in from the cold and sliding into a hot bath. Sneezing. Getting your back scratched. You a dog? When you wake up and you think it's almost time to get up for the day but you look at your clock and you still have 2 hours left to sleep. Scratching a mosquito bite on your ankle. Oddly specific, I know. That feeling when you know you made someone very proud of you. When someone strokes the hair in your head. How do you feel about the hair on your head? Or do you only permit people to shove their hand in your skull and stroke you in hair? Taking off your shoes and socks after a hard day at work. Scratching your sock indented ankles. Laying in bed after a long day. Having the back of my neck trimmed with clippers at the barbers. I love neck scratches. Scratching your ear in just the right spot. Stepping into a heated building when it's cold outside. Hot shower after a few days without one. Peeing after you've been holding it far too long. When the scissors glide as you're cutting a piece of paper. That new electronics smell as you open your latest toy. Ah cute, how ah cute. Pulling a large booger out of your nose. The ones that tickle your brain on the way out. Finally letting loose with that massive crap that's been yelling at you all afternoon. When you've been swimming and water becomes trapped in your ear despite your stomping and shaking your head. And then later, when you've made peace with the fact you'll have water in your ear forever. It miraculously lets loose and flows out. Taking a big poop and after wiping realizing you didn't have to wipe. Those are the best to me. But always wipe. When you lie down on the floor and your back pops itself and suddenly you can't move again. Alternatively, when someone picks you up from behind and your back finally pops. That light feeling afterwards where you're suddenly not tense anymore is out of this world. This is going to sound really British, but when you put the crumpet to a muffin in the toaster for the right amount of time and it's not too hot to hold but warm enough to melt the butter quickly, and when you manage to get the fly in your house to fly back outside through the door it came in. Briefly waking up about 4 hours before your alarm goes off. When you spend an hour making a kick-ass homemade meal. And you have a nice beer or a glass of wine. And the food is finally done and all plated and you're ready to eat it. And you take that first awesome bite. Music. I have seen some live performances that were like drugs. Even just listening to a song that really hits the friction freeze on button for you. Especially the first time. Stretching. Popping a big. Painful zit. Also please don't link me to a popping. That is too much. Cleaning your ears with Q-tips. Or even better having them cleaned at the doctor's with that water pressure thing. I had a doctor recently clean them with one of those metal sticks with a loop at the end. Kind of hurt, but afterward I felt like I could hear trees talking. Getting goosebumps from listening to an amazing song. Honestly, taking a dump that comes out so nice your ass isn't even dirty feels so good. Edit. My top comment is about taking a dump. Edit 2. Playing in a band for an audience that is totally into it. When I was younger and in a metal band, we would play shows that would have 500 people and a mosh pit would erupt and it was chaos. It was as good as SX. Hot shower after a rainy and cold bike commute. Pulling on a fresh, clean, out of the package pair of socks. Amazing. Edit. My top karma comment involves my new sock addiction. The world is an interesting place. Clocking out. I remember reading somewhere that a sneeze is like 1/100th of an orgasm to your brain. Probably bull, but still. A good sneeze can feel damn nice. Edit. You guys really like sneezing. For me, more like 1/10th of an orgasm. Source. After sneezing 10 times, I'm ready for a cigarette. Playing music with other people or with recordings and getting that adrenaline rush. What's weird is with that adrenaline rush you usually play like flawlessly. If you've never had an ear infection, basically a bunch of fluid builds up on the inside of your eardrum and won't drain out for days and days until after the infection clears up. It's like having permanent swimmer ear. You can't hear and there's always a slight pressure. Until finally, that glorious moment. You swallow and some air finally makes its way back in as some fluid drains out and you can hear again. Pressure is gone. Glorious. Something about the combined feeling of relief and now you're also not 80% deaf. Another one I remember is having a migraine for hours and not knowing it was sinus pressure. Like, really bad pressure. Showered and then laid down on my side whimpering like a child because it wouldn't go away until I hear what can only be described as air escaping from a balloon. A long high-pitched squeak. And then I feel it as the noise is being made. The pressure is leaving my sinuses all at once and my migraine is immediately cured. Best feeling ever. Cracking hard to crack joints. Like a hip or ankle. Being loved. Are absolutely not my role. Finishing a big project. Knowing that, at least until you have to go through and edit it, you can officially say, here is a thing I have made. Behold its majesty. Waking up in the middle of the night with a dry mouth and having a drink. Getting a pump from lifting weights. Arnold said it best. The greatest feeling you can get in a gym or the most satisfying feeling you can get in the gym is the pump. Let's say you train your biceps. Blood is rushing into your muscles and that's what we call the pump. Your muscles get a really tight feeling like your skin is going to explode any minute and it's really tight and it's like someone is blowing air into your muscle and it just blows up and it feels different. It feels fantastic. It's as satisfying to me as coming is. You know. As in having sex with a woman and coming. So can you believe how much I am in heaven? I am like getting the feeling of coming in the gym. I'm getting the feeling of coming at home. I'm getting the feeling of coming backstage. When I pump up. When I pose out in front of 5,000 people I get the same feeling. So I am coming day and night. It's terrific. Right? So you know. Ripping the cellophane off of any electronic. Cancelling plans. Taking care of a sweaty itchy butthole. Skydiving is incredible close for me. The feeling of rust against my salad fingers is almost orgasmic. Tunnel exhaust. Getting into a hot shower and letting the water hit a patch of skin that has been affected by poison ivy. Outside of the itching and horrible redness it feels glorious. Getting a back shoulder massage when your shoulders back are tight. Holy, it's a great feeling. I've literally almost creamed my panties once to a good shoulder massage. Getting into a bed with fresh sheets after showering, shaving your legs. The little shiver you get after going pee sometimes. Weirdly enough, for me it's a Nestle drumstick ice cream cone, particularly caramel filled. Then after finishing the cone, immediately cracking open an ice cold Sprite and taking that first sip. It's a super weird combination, but it actually relaxes me more than anything in the world. Did I just get advertised to? Doing surgery with an assistant that knows exactly what the next step is. Scrub nurse that is 2 steps ahead of you without speaking. A really good drop in music. Eating melted cheese. ASMR. The moment you hit the runner's high. That feeling when you blow your nose and finally break loose that massive glob that's been pestering you, and when you pull it out it feels like it slid from all the way back by your brain. Then taking that first breath of air through your clean nostril. I'm calling regarding your interview with us. And we'd like to make you an offer. I got this call today after being unemployed since July, and I'd swear it was better than SX. Hitting a golf ball perfectly and watching it fly straight into the distance. So rare. So nice. Skiing waist deep powder. Setting foot for the first time in a country or place you've never been on is completely different than your home. Bonus points if you've been dreaming about it. As a man, having a woman compliment my attractiveness. I've never been the most social, popular or likable person with bad fashion sense. The few times in my life that I dressed up and I had a woman genuinely compliment me were absolutely amazing. I can't even remember the last time my wife gave me a compliment. I don't think she ever does. But I definitely remember the last time, to the date, that a woman told me I was SY. When you pick out a booger and it strings along an even fatter one that slightly tugs at the inside of your nose before coming out. Beating on Stein and Smau. Cracking open a cold one with the boys. Pentacle. Dart. Aced. My wife just bought this ear cleaning thing that's like a bottle with a little hose you stick up in your ear. It has a guard so you don't go too far, and then you squeeze the handle and it irrigates your ear with peroxide and warm water. It's like scratching an itch on the inside of your brain. Or what I imagine SX must be like. My wife. What I imagine SX must be like. Unfortunately you'll need someone else to do this with. It's essentially a foot massage. But it's a specific way to do it. As they extend their leg, place their heel in the bottom of your palm. Curl your fingers and use your first knuckles to rub their arch by essentially making a fist and moving your fingers. The first time this happened to me I actually recoiled because the feeling was so unexpected and similar. Peeling a scab off in one piece. Peeling a huge sunburned skin off in one piece.